Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to talk about the books that I used to complete the our fantasy bingo for 2024. I did this in 2023 as well, where I just made a video going through all the books. So we're doing that the same this year. I joined the challenge on like Storygraph, but I kind of forgot about it mostly throughout the year. I didn't read anything specific to finish it. I just looked through when we were nearing the 31st of March, which is now a month ago, to see what I read like from 1st of April 2024 to 31st of March 2025 for what could fit in the bingo. And I did manage to complete it-ish. One is a bit of a stretch, but we are dealing, and that's why we're making a video. Last time I actually had like a whole week where I read books to complete the bingo because I had neglected it so hard, but I read 600 books in 2024, and I do believe that is the reason why I managed it. But actually some of these are from 2025 as well, and I just kind of just picked the first ones I saw fit, because obviously I have read many books that fits the different challenges. But it is 25 prompts and 25 books we're going to talk about quickly, so let's get started. First is to read the first in the series, and Hardmode was to be the series is more than 3 books long. I ended up picking A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. This one is Hades and Persephone retelling, which I read when I was reading, I think, like popular book talk books vlog thing in April last year. Didn't really enjoy that much. I felt like I didn't really add more. I feel like it was my favorite retelling of them, because now that I read one, I feel like I read all of them. I read another one like ish recently, and I like being mixed up in my head, but I do believe it's like she escapes to him and then there's like mafia stuff, or is that a completely different one? I don't know. It was building up to the smart, not enough. It was just like straight into the smart, we are doing it now, and I was just like, oh. So that was a bit boring. I hope I'm not mixing up in my head. And this series is really long, which is why I picked it up for this, because it was like, read the first one in the series, but the series needs to be long. It is 7 books, so it was definitely failing for the challenge. But I haven't continued, and I don't know if I will, but that is at least what a book series is. And number 2, alternative title, where we have read a book where multiple words in the title begin with the same letter. Hardmode, what's the title, has 3 words or more that start with the same letter. So I always try for hardmode if I can. Not always I can do it, but I did. I did go for the fork, the witch, and the worm, because we have 3 words that start with da, which then are the same letters, which means I completed hardmode, I think. And this is just Tales of Allegatia, Volume 1 Aragon, which is set in the Allegatia world. This is like the Aragon short story collection where we follow him, or like things he's thinking and doing at the time. The font is like, they cut half the page to make the book look bigger, but it's not a big book. And I hadn't read it before, but I read it to read Murtagh last year, and it was actually really fun. And I really enjoyed like seeing him after the events of Inheritance, and I'm excited to see more in the world, and whenever he writes more than just volume 1 of Tales from Allegatia. It was a good time. Obviously don't read that unless you actually read the main series. We then had number 3, Under the Surface, read a book where an important setting is either underground or underwater. Hardmode, at least half the book takes place underground or underwater. Oh, books are falling. Books are falling. We have 8 Will Fall by Sarah Harrion. I had it on TBR for ages, but I read it finally for the Fearless vlog that I did last year, and I didn't really enjoy it. I don't even remember what had happened in this. We have the ability to sense other emotions aside for them, or either conjure or destroy, and that's like illegal. So our main character has that ability, and then like they're fighting a whole ass revolution, and they need to go underground in this cave things. Like they're literally falling in a cave here. And oh, you can see it in her face. I just realized that is the only thing I can recall about it, and I remember it was very fast paced for a whole evolution because it's only 1 book. It's not like a series. And that was shocking in itself. But I feel like that at least fit for the prompt, because they were in the cave for a really long time. I don't remember exactly how much of the book. Yeah, we at least completed the actual challenge, if not hardmode at least. At least I could use it for that. And I am unholding that book. We then have number 4, Criminals. Read a book in which the main character is a criminal. This could be a thief, assassin, someone who commits mail fraud, etc. Hardmode features a heist. And considering how many heist books I usually read, finding a book for this was difficult. I don't recall, but I put in A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal. So this is the news by the author. We have vampires in this as well, set in the same world as We Hunt the Flame, and we collect this crew of mischief that is going to go on a heist. So there's a heist story, we have vampires, we have different criminals, there are outcasts in the society, so definitely feel like it fits their prompt. I ended up not liking this as much. I thought I would really enjoy it, but then I like felt like it just used ages coming to the heist. It didn't feel like we cared for any of the characters that came together. And then like as we like got to the heist, etc., I was just like, really? That's it? Like it just felt, you want a heist to have some twists. That is the point of a heist, but it didn't give anything that I wanted from this heist. It was fine. I gave it a 3 at the time, but I didn't love it. And I remember also We Heard the Flame did let me down a bit, even though I did enjoy the sequel much more than I thought I would for some reason. Then we have Dreams, which is number 5. Read a book where characters experience dreams, magical or otherwise. Hardmode, the dream is not mystical or usual, just a normal dream or a nightmare. I did not complete Hardmode for this one. I did put in Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros for this. There's a lot of dreaming in this one. It's the 3rd book in the Empyrean series. Read it earlier when it came out this year. Did not really like find it the best ever. I felt like we had very little developments in the world for be a 3rd book in the series. Didn't get a lot of answers, which is like a lot of back and forth, read the same thing over and over, and I was honestly just like very bored. So I am hoping the series will pick itself off. I am enjoying to read it with everyone else in the book community as it come out, but honestly it was bored throughout a lot of it. We then have number 6, entitled Animals. Read a book that has an animal in the title. The animal in the title does not have to appear in the story. And Hardmode was the animal in the title. It's a fantasy or sci-fi creature. So for this, I got out A Dance with Dragons by George R. R. Martin. Animal in title is obviously dragons. And I hadn't read this before, but I finally read it last year after having it on the plan to read on A Song of Ice and Fire, but I can't read it on because it's not done. But at least I could use it for this challenge. It was a good time, this one. It took me so long to read. It was so good though, and I kind of already want to reread the whole series because I love them a lot. But I want to audio them, but I don't like the narrator, and I want them to redo the audio so we have different voices for all the POVs. That's what I want to like. Can I ask for that? But obviously I loved it, and I give it, did I give it 4 or 5? I don't remember anymore. But I can't believe I waited that long to read it. I had to reread everything before. But then at the same time, it doesn't matter because the next book is not out yet anyway. I would have read it before if the next book had come. I just procrastinated it because it hadn't. We then have number 7, which is Bards. Read a book in which the primary protagonist is a bard, musician, poet, or storyteller. And Hardmode, the character, is explicitly called a bard. And for this, I put in A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. Read this year. And we have a main character who is actually a bard. He comes home to his like river village, but he's still a bard. And then he was just planning to like visit for the summer, but then these people are missing, and he is like helping with trying to find out why these people are going missing. And then there's a little love story, and then like we need to find out this mystery. But the main character is still a bard, so I can't believe I read that because of the Lumicraft vlog. And then it just fit perfectly into this challenge, so I'm happy about that. And I enjoyed it fine. I just didn't care about the mystery aspects of stuff, but the atmosphere of the story was really good. We have number 8, Prologue and Appilog. Read a book that's either a prologue or an epilogue. Hardmode, the book must have both. Did I double check this before taking it in here? I feel like I maybe didn't. It has a prologue, but does it have an epilogue? It does! Maybe I did check this, but I did put in The Shadow of War Was Lost by James Islington. I couldn't recall if it had both when I made this, but I do believe maybe I could recall it. This, I Better Read My Family Johanna, the whole trilogy last year, which I feel like is great to just get through the whole trilogy instead of like waiting for a super long time. I don't even know how to describe the series, but it was incredible. We have these characters that go to this kind of magic school, and then he's going to take this test, and if you fail this test, then you kind of get thrown out of society, but they escape before this can happen because this creature comes and it's basically like, you guys need to leave to do this other thing. And then there is just like so many layers and complexities in the story. I really do want to reread it because I feel like upon reread you will see even more things. But it was incredible, and I thoroughly enjoyed the whole trilogy. But I do love the Will of the Many more, and I can't wait for the sequel to come out later this year. But absolutely incredible series. It was so incredibly good. I want to read it again. We have number 9, which is self-published or indie publisher. Self-published or published through an indie publisher. If a formerly self-published novel has been picked up by a publisher, it only counts for this challenge if you read it when it was still only self-published. Hardmode is self-published and has fewer than 100 ratings on Goodreads or an indie publisher that's been done on MA on Our Fantasy. I did not do it as a Hardmode because I know that this has more than 100 ratings, but I still put it in here, so there was no hard mode for me on this one, which was The Sword of Kayan by Wang, which I finally read, and it was absolutely incredible. I read one chapter a day throughout all of May because I had 31 chapters, and I buddy read it with my patrons. It was just so incredibly good. I'm just looking at it now, smiling at it because I haven't even described what it's about, but it's set in this village where we basically have this family that are known to be Asian warriors, and then like they're fighting at this school, and there's a lot about like honor and family, and then they get attacked and need to defend themselves. And I was just kind of waiting for the story to expand in a different way than I thought it would, in a way. And then it never did, but what it did was better. Like, my expectations were completely different, but then I just kept to what it wanted to do, and it was so good. Sorry, I'm just thinking about the book and how actually amazing it was. I'm getting goosebumps. It's incredible. Would recommend 100%. I do believe I gave it a 5. Then we have number 10, which is Romantasy. Read a book that features romance as a main plot. This must be speculative in nature, but doesn't have to be fantasy. Hardmode, the main character, is LGBTQIA+. For this, I put in Can't Spell Treason Without T by Rebecca Thorne. Sorry, I had to like look. The picture was very small. And this one I just read last year, as I think I read it part of like a challenge where it was to buy or buy, because like I was trying to become more reflective last year of to buy everything all the time. I ended up not buying because I did not enjoy this one, but I put it in here because, well, I could have put in many different titles, but I put in this one apparently. It is about this bodyguard. They were dating, they were already in a relationship, and then they just decided to just quit and leave the kingdom and start this tea shop. And then obviously people are not happy with them just leaving together to do this because they were loyal to the kingdom in a way. There was some like trees and stuff in there, but I cannot recall it completely, but that was kind of the ick of it. It's supposed to be like cozy and a bit cute, but then we had like fantasy aspects to it. I don't remember, maybe the other character was like a sorcerer maybe, and then I just didn't care and I felt underdeveloped and I didn't enjoy myself that much, so I do believe I gave it this one a 2. We then have 11, Dark Academia, which was read a book that fits the dark academia aesthetic. This includes schools, another university, secret societies, and dark secrets. Does not have to be fantasy, but must be speculative. Hard mode, the school itself is entirely mundane. And I do believe I scored on this because we have The Devil Makes 3 by, I think it's Tori Bobalino. I can't see the author's name. And I read this for the Illumcred Valley. We are on a school that I believe is ordinary. And then we have these two characters. One of them works in a library, and the other one is like researching stuff, and then like demonic stuff starts happening, etc. And they need to work together and they fall for each other. And I remember the beginning was very entertaining and good, while like other parts of the story I did not particularly like love. But they are in a mundane school and it is dark academia, so I feel like I completed this. And I wish it was more like it was in the beginning, but then it wasn't, as apparently happens because you need to develop the book as you're reading it. We have number 12, which is read a book with at least 3 point of view characters, and then hard mode at least 5 point of view characters. And I actually did this in hard mode because some books were almost falling. I read Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jerry Christoph. This for the Illumcred Appilog once again. This one, we have like literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 POV characters. That was a lot. And this follows Aurora that wakes up after being like in cryosleep for like really, really long time when she was not supposed to. And I am making this crew because they're graduating for the school, and I get like a bad crew because he was saving Aurora when he could not chosen out the better crew. And they got in this universe and people looking for Aurora, and they obviously are protecting her. I was very bored. I didn't care for a single thing. I did not enjoy this book. I do believe I gave it like a 1 star. But at least I can put it in for this challenge. We have 13 published in 2024, which a book published for the first time in 2024. No reprints or new editions. First translations into your language or choice are allowed. And then Hardmode is also the author's first published novel. And I just noticed that I've forgotten it on my shelf, so I need to go and get it because I always forget one book. And then I couldn't even find it because I hidden it away. But then I found it eventually. It just took ages. We had A Girl with No Reflection by Keshi Chow. So this was released in 2024 and was also the author's debut. So I completed the challenge. This followed this girl that needs to marry this prince, and then she finds out that there's this mirror realm in where the prince is. So she switches place with her mirror self, which is not really good because the mirror realm is basically dying. And then we are going back and forth with who she really likes. If she likes the mirror prince or if she likes the real prince. It's a back and forth thing in that too. And I enjoyed parts of it. Parts of it was very entertaining and unique and fun and with humor. And then other parts was just like, can you just make up your mind? She was just so back and forth. She had like 14 different character developments. It was a wild time. So I was really up and down if I was enjoying myself or not, because it was such a confusing narrative of like, can you just make up your mind, girl? And she just never could. But I ended up, I think, giving it a 3, and I had it on pre-order, and this is one of the ones I'm like, should I have, even though the cover is very cool. Then we have character with a disability, which is read a book in which an important character has a physical or mental disability. Hardmode, a main character has a physical or mental disability. So I put in the Whispering Dark, which I read for the Prologue Appilog, which is by Kelly Andrew. Our main character is deaf here, and she needs to go to school. There's this dude that needs to stay away from her. There's murders that start happening at the school, and I did not love this one either. Apparently I don't love anything. The way it was written was very, very annoying for me, and I didn't really care for like the story or character that much. So there's that. So we have 15, a book published in the 1990s. Read a book that was published in the 1990s. Hardmode, the author or one of the authors, has also published something in the last 5 years. I never really checked if that was true. I do believe this author has published in the last 5 years, but I'm a bit too lazy to check right now. Because I do believe the author has another ongoing manga series, but I have to put in a manga because I could find not a single thing that I had read that was from the 1990s, because I'm just terrible apparently. I had things that was published before. I have things that were published like on the day after, but nothing in the 1990s except apparently Monster, but volume 2, and this was I think like 1998 or something. I think I checked this, but I can't recall. Like this specific volume originally or something. I don't even recall what I was thinking, but I know it fits and I put it in here. And I do believe Naoki Urasawa has another series ongoing now. If the last volume was published in the last 5 years, I cannot recall it a second. I don't know. But I put it in. This follows a doctor that was living a prestige, a nice life until this murder stops happening, and he's hunting this murderer all over the world. And we follow different characters that encounters these people that are hunting this murderer. And that's what's going on. Then we have 16, Orcs, Trolls, and Goblins Oh My, which is read a book featuring Orcs, Trolls, or Goblins, Hardmode as the main character. So for this, I put in The Black Crown by John A. Douglas. This was a indie book that I read for Spiff Box. And now I just realized I read a bunch of books for Spiff Box. Why did I just take that in for the indie book instead of taking in Sword of Kaigen? And I would have probably gotten the Hardmode as well, because I believe some of those had under 100 ratings. I don't know what I was thinking here, honestly. But that I in theory completed it anyway, because I did read a lot of more indie for Spiff Box. Was this for Spiff Box or Spiff Boat 9? I don't know, they are merged into my head. But it had main characters Star Wars Orcs, so I counted it for that. And that is all I can recall for the book. I don't think I enjoyed it that much, sadly. We then have 17, which is space opera. This is to read a sci-fi book that features a large cast of characters and which has the focus on social dynamics which may be political or personal in nature, set primarily in space or spaceships. Hardmode will be with my author of marginalized gender identity. So we have Some Desperate Glory by Emily Tesh that I put in here, which definitely fits for Hardmode. And then also this whole thing is about like the main characters trying to save the whole world from like dying over and over and over, like Earth. And then like we have many different characters, we are on spaceships. It fit very, very well. I didn't really enjoy the book, however, because I felt like it was surface level on the things they wanted to discuss. But it still fits for the challenge, which is what we love to see. We have 18, which is author of color. Read a book by a author of color. Hardmode must be a debut novel published in the last 5 years. I do believe I did that with Yazad Hair by Sarah Hassan. Read this, not for Lumcraft Vlog, but it is the Lumcraft edition, where we have a thief and a prince, and I do believe she's like a lost heir to the kingdom. And then like they meet and he doesn't know who she is, and then they start having a thing, and then like we had this cool world, but I didn't really care that much for it. Didn't really enjoy it that much, sadly, but it is a author of color and it's published in the last 5 years, so here we are. Wish I enjoyed it more though. Then we go to 19, survival. Read a book in which the primary goal of the characters and story focus on survival, surviving an apocalypse, surviving a war, surviving high school. Hard mode, no super viruses or pandemics. So I put in the Preserved Healer, Balenat Noni, which I read for the Farewell vlog, and I actually enjoyed this one. And this is set in a prison, and I need to survive this prison. It is a terrible prison. They are not treated well there, they might die there, etc. So a main character is there working as a healer to survive and like get better conditions basically, and then she wants to escape, and then there comes this person in the prison that she's trying to help basically. It was very, very exciting. We were in this one setting this whole time trying to survive, and I do believe it fits for the prompts and the hard mode, so we are happy. Love that, and I really, really thoroughly enjoyed it. It had some insane twists in the end that I definitely feel like I should have seen coming, but I cannot wait to see. Why am I getting goosebumps thinking about this book? Okay, so I'm planning to read the second and third book in the summer, so I can't wait to see if it manages to keep my attention that well as this one did, but it was incredible for me. Then we had number 20, judge a book by its cover. Choose a book because you like its cover. Hardmode picked the book based on only information available on the cover and no reading the blurb. I never read a blurb, so this was not a hard mode. The reason I had The Sun and the Void was because I loved the cover, and I knew that the Limited edition was gonna be stunning of it because I loved the original cover. So that's why I didn't skip my sub that month, and I have now gotten it, and I have now read it because I read all the books for the Limited vlog, and I did not enjoy it. So I was just like, great. It was just a mess. It was trying to do so many things and it did not manage to do it. We have different characters. We have one that is desperate and one that is unwanted. Their paths crosses, and I did not like it, and it was just messy and I was bored, and that is apparently what I feel about a lot of books lately. Maybe I had dug myself into a hole and I can't get out. Help. Send help to me. We have 21 set in a small town. The primary setting is a small town. Hard mode, small town can be real or fictional, but the broader setting must be in our real world and not a secondary world. And I had a perfect one for this that I read for the Lumicra vlog, which was Heaven Fall by Sarah Holland. So this are set in our world. We are in an inn in our world, and in this inn there's portals to other worlds. So we're still in a fancy world, but we are literally in our world where like this inn is just like a place where the people from the other worlds can meet and like discuss things and have like treaties, etc. And it was just perfect. And we are set in a small town as well, because it's just like a small town up in the mountains where this inn is in our world. And I was like, oh my god. So that was great. And I really enjoyed the atmosphere of this place. A murder also starts happening, and then like there's this door that has been closed for a really long time that now has opened. That is kind of the plot of the story. And I did enjoy like the setting the most and like the ideas of this inn, while like the plot itself was a bit, guess what, boring for me. So then we go to 22, which is the one I'm like searching a bit. We have 5 science fiction fantasy short stories, any 5 short stories or novellettes. Hard mode is to read an entire speculative anthology or collection. I did not do that, but I did read, and I only brought out one of them. A lot of Murder Bots. I read System Collapse amongst them by Martha Wells, and I do believe I read 5 of them at least, like within like the space of this challenge. So like, do 5 of these count? Because it said any 5 short stories or novellettes. So I feel like they're not really short story at all, but are the novellettes? Are they even short stories? I feel like they're not short stories. They are novellas. So I might have failed this one a bit. Have I read any novellas? Even if I have I even read 5 of them? So I kind of failed this one. I thought I could count this, but then now that I reread the challenge, I'm like, meh. Did I fail now? Are we gonna just delete this whole video? Don't feel like I read any short stories. But like, I'm too tired to look through like, not exactly 600 books, but like 500 books right now. So we are half counting this and I'm just moving on. I'm sorry. We have 23, which is Eldritch Creatures. Read a book featuring a being that is uncanny, unearthly, and where this can be a god or monster from another plane or realm that is usually beyond mortal understanding. The hard mode, the book is not related to the Cthulhu mythos. And I have Monstrous, which I read the latest volume of, volume 9, which is The Possessed. This is like really like, has weird creatures and stuff that I feel like fits for this challenge. Argue with me if you don't agree, but I think it fits. I think it fits really well. So sometimes I gotta put in a manga or graphic novel to make it, okay? So we have 24, which is reference materials. Read a book that features additional materials such as map, footnotes, glossary, translation guides, dramatic personnel, etc. Hard mode book contains at least 2 types of additional materials. For this, I took out Fire and Blood, I didn't even check it, but like surely it has stuff, right? Yeah, it has like the actual Targaryen like tree. It has like dates. I'm sure it has a map. Does it have a map in the beginning? At least 2 things I just showed you, so it counts. And this is the first part of the Targaryen history. I thought it was going to be all of it for some reason, even though I knew it was going to be sequel that is never going to come. I absolutely love this. Parts of it was so fun, but the later parts were more boring. It got more boring as we had less dragons. But like some of the politics, I like the intricacies, I like reading about all these children dying. It was a whole thing. My mind was just like, this is so fascinating. I'm reading about this fake family that never existed, and I am into it. It was so interesting. But then the later parts I didn't enjoy as much. I want to reread this again already. Like, I think about it, I'm just like, I want to read you again. So I should, I think. But can a second part come, please? I'm asking nicely. Last challenge is 25, and that's book club or read along book. Any past active book clubs count as well as past or active read alongs. And on hard mode, must read a current selection of either a book club or read along and participate in a discussion. And I am in many different read alongs. I am in my Wheel of Time read along. I'm in the Catch Up Book Club. I'm now in a new one that starts this summer. And also have a Patreon one. We had many good options. I just put in The Wisdom of Crowds by Joe Abercrombie, which was for Catch Up Book Club. And this was the last one in that series that I was in the discussion for because I was one of the hosts. So I was definitely there. This whole world starts with the Blade itself, where we are just in a fancy world and terrible things are happening and we need to figure out who's going to be on the throne, etc. I don't even know how to explain this series. I didn't particularly love this series, but I like this last trilogy more than the others. And it definitely ended on a point where it would definitely be more in the series. So I will read that and reread everything. That seems like a chore, but I don't know, there's like a very series where that has like slight references to other things that happens before. And I don't think I kept up well enough to care, but I am keeping them to see if I want to reread once in the future or something. But that concludes all the 25 books that we had, or 25 challenges, with one being like not really finished. So I guess we can say I failed now. I'm sad. I thought I made it. I just read it as novella, not novelette. I will forget it. Whoosh. We have forgotten it. We're moving on. And we should see if I can complete the challenge next year. I haven't actually looked at the new challenges, but I will just join on Storygraph so that I can just add books as I see fit. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a bingo thing down below, emoji, or like a ball, bingo ball, and you should see me soon. Thank you so much, and goodbye.